Welcome to our deep dive today.
Oh, deep dive. Sounds intense.
It is a bit, yeah. We're going deep into the UK accountancy and tax scene.
Okay.
And we've got some really interesting articles from Business and Accountancy Daily to guide us.
Okay, what kind of stuff are we looking at?
Well, there's one that caught my eye straight away
Yeah.
about car insurance.
Oh, car insurance?
Apparently, accountants pay 17% more for their car insurance.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher.
It is, yeah.
You'd think accountants,
Yeah, you think they'd be
careful, meticulous.
lower risk.
Exactly.
Huh?
So why the higher premiums?
That's a good question.
Well, the articles don't really give us a definite answer,
Right.
but it does make you think, doesn't it?
It does.
What could be driving that?
Yeah, like maybe the types of cars they drive.
Oh, that's a good point.
Accountants, they need to be reliable.
Yeah, client visits, right?
Yeah, it could be a lot of driving around.
Exactly. And longer commutes, too.
Makes sense.
So it's not just about individual driving habits.
Right.
It's about those broader patterns, right?
Yeah, the whole profession.
And this idea of unexpected connections, right?
Yeah.
It actually brings us to another article
Okay.
that's causing a bit of a stir, especially for landlords.
Landlords, oh boy.
Yeah, there's this pre-budget tension in the air.
Right.
The Labor government's considering some pretty big tax rises.
I've heard rumblings about that.
Yeah, they're looking at capital gains tax,
CGT?
inheritance tax,
Mhm.
and even stamp duty land tax.
Oh, wow. So buying, selling, inheriting.
The whole shebang?
Yeah, that's going to cause some anxiety,
Oh, absolutely.
especially with everything else going on.
Exactly. Rising borrowing costs,
Yeah.
those energy efficiency regulations coming in.
It's a lot to juggle.
It really is.
Landlords must be feeling the pressure.
Oh, yeah. One of the articles even quotes Michaela Seeger.
Who's that?
She's an associate director at RSM UK, and she says landlords might be starting to wonder, is this even worth it anymore?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if landlords start selling off properties, or they become more hesitant to invest.
What happens to the housing market?
Exactly. Could we see fewer rentals available?
Probably, yeah.
Higher rents?
Yeah, most likely.
And then how does that affect affordability?
Big questions.
Huge questions. It's like those tax changes.
Right.
They could have these ripple effects
Yeah.
way beyond just the landlords themselves.
Like a domino effect.
Totally. But even with all this uncertainty,
Mhm.
there's this really positive trend emerging
Oh, tell me something good.
in the accountancy profession itself.
Really?
Yeah, one of the articles talks about this booming trainee market.
Interesting.
Accountancy firms are investing like nearly $200 million in training.
Wow.
Graduate and apprentice numbers are through the roof.
How many are we talking?
25,000.
That's incredible.
It's like they're doubling down on the future workforce. And it makes you think maybe this surge in trainees,
Yeah.
it's partly because of those potential budget changes.
Could be. Yeah.
I mean, navigating all those new tax complexities,
Right.
you're going to need skilled professionals.
Makes sense.
So maybe this influx of new talent,
Uh-huh.
it's a strategic response to the changing market.
That's a good point.
Accountants who really get those new tax laws,
Yeah.
they're going to be in high demand,
Oh, for sure.
both from landlords needing guidance and from individuals trying to figure out their own finances.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening and thinking about a career in accountancy,
This might be the time.
this might be the perfect time to jump in.
Yeah, get ahead of the curve.
It's a stable profession,
Always in demand.
but it's also rapidly evolving.
Right.
You need that new generation of skilled professionals
To make sense of it all.
to navigate those choppy financial waters.
Exactly. And what's really encouraging is how many ways there are to get into the profession now.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just graduates anymore.
Right.
Apprenticeships are becoming really popular.
Yeah. Earn while you learn.
Avoid those student loans.
It's a huge plus. Makes it much more accessible.
Definitely.
And let's not forget about job security.
Oh, yeah. That's important.
When times are uncertain.
People want stability.
Exactly. And accountancy definitely offers that.
No doubt.
So it's interesting, isn't it? On the one hand, we've got this potential storm brewing with the budget changes,
Right.
anxiety for landlords,
Yeah.
possible impacts on the housing market.
Big picture stuff.
But then on the flip side,
Yeah.
we've got this wave of new talent
Coming into accountancy.
ready to tackle those challenges.
The next generation.
Yeah, it's almost like the profession is gearing up
For a big shift.
for a period of change and adaptation.
And how will those two forces interact?
That's the question.
The budget changes and the new talent.
How will they shape the future of UK accountancy and tax?
Fascinating stuff.
Now, Remember that statistic we talked about earlier?
The car insurance one.
Yeah, accountants paying more.
Yeah.
Let's dig a little deeper into that.
Okay.
See what it tells us about risk perception.
In the financial world.
Exactly. Because, you know, if accountants are seen as higher risk,
The insurance companies.
what does that say about how risk is assessed
Or maybe even misjudged.
in the wider financial world?
Good point.
Right.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
It does.
Are there other instances where risk is being miscalculated?
In the financial industry?
Yeah, are certain groups being unfairly penalized
Or overlooked?
based on these flawed perceptions?
It's definitely something to consider.
Right. And it highlights how important it is.
To challenge those assumptions.
Exactly. We need a more nuanced understanding of risk.
Yeah.
Because informed decision-making.
Relies on accurate assessments.
Right. Free from bias.
And unfounded assumptions.
Absolutely. And, you know, bringing this back to the budget, changes and those anxieties that landlords are feeling,
Yeah.
it's worth thinking about how risk perception
Plays into their decisions as well.
because if they see those tax changes as a big threat,
Yeah.
it could lead to more risk aversion
They might be more cautious.
for investing here
Or even sell off properties.
to avoid potential losses.
Yeah.
And that risk aversion
To cascade, right?
exactly impact the whole housing market,
Fewer properties to rent.
drive up prices.
Make it harder for people to find affordable housing.
Yeah, it's a complex web of interconnected factors.
Isn't it?
Risk perception influencing decisions,
Rippling outwards.
affecting the whole system.
Like that butterfly effect thing.
Totally. Small changes in one area,
Yeah.
triggering big consequences elsewhere.
It's all connected.
And this brings us back to the role of accountants in all of this.
Yeah.
As the financial landscape gets more complex,
Uh-huh.
their expertise becomes even more crucial.
They're the navigators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helping people chart a course.
Through those choppy waters.
They can help landlords understand those new tax laws,
Right.
explore different strategies,
Mitigate risks.
make informed decisions about their investment.
And for individuals,
Uh-huh.
accountants can provide some clarity.
Yeah, amidst all the confusion.
Help them understand the impact on their own finances.
Exactly. Guide them towards financial well-being.
Like a financial advisor.
Yeah, an advocate, a translator.
In sense of the jargon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with this wave of new talent,
Coming into the profession
we can be hopeful
Yeah.
that the accountancy industry is well-equipped
to face these challenges.
to provide that guidance and support.
To navigate this evolving landscape.
It's like a new generation of financial superheroes.
Uh-huh. I like it.
Emerging to tackle those complex tax codes.
And help people understand their money.
Absolutely. And speaking of knowledge transfer,
Yeah.
let's shift our focus now to that booming trainee market
Okay.
and explore how this influx of new talent.
Is changing the face of the profession.
Because it's not just about filling empty desks.
Right.
It's about bringing in those fresh perspectives.
Yeah.
New ideas.
A tech-savvy mindset.
This generation's grown up digital.
Exactly. Comfortable with automation?
They can leverage technology.
Streamline processes, analyze data.
They're not just number crunchers.
No, they're problem solvers.
Tech-savvy ones.
Ready to embrace the challenges
And the opportunities.
of this rapidly evolving financial landscape.
And that shift towards tech.
It aligns perfectly with the changing demands of the profession.
How so?
Well, with AI and automation on the rise,
Right.
the role of the accountant is going beyond traditional bookkeeping.
Makes sense.
It's more about strategic advice now,
Okay.
data interpretation,
Helping clients navigate this constant flow of information.
connecting the dots,
Seeing the bigger picture.
providing insights that go beyond just the numbers.
And that's where the human element comes in.
Oh, absolutely.
Those soft skills.
Communication, critical thinking.
Problem solving, empathy.
You can't automate that,
No. Technology can crunch the numbers.
but it can't replace human judgment
Intuition. That ability to build trust.
and provide personalized advice.
Exactly.
So if you're thinking about a career in accountancy,
Yeah.
remember, it's not just about spreadsheets.
Right.
It's about developing those core skills
Those human skills.
that will help you thrive in this constantly evolving profession.
Adapt. Embrace new technologies.
Lifelong learning is key.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've explored the potential impact of the budget.
the anxieties for landlords,
Those surprising insights from car insurance premiums.
and the wave of new talent coming into accountancy
It's been a fascinating journey,
through the UK's accountancy and tax landscape
highlighting both the challenges and the opportunities.
that lie ahead.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Oh.
what's the one key takeaway?
You'd like our listeners to remember.
I think it's this. Stay curious
Stay informed.
and stay engaged.
The world of finance is constantly changing.
But by staying informed and seeking out expert guidance
You can navigate those changes with confidence.
and achieve your financial goals.
Well said.
And remember, whether you're a landlord
An investor,
or just someone trying to make sense of your own finances.
a trusted accountant can be your guide.
Absolutely.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll join those 25,000 trainees.
Shaping the future of the profession.
Now that's exciting.
Until next time, keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.
See you then. It's kind of wild how that car insurance thing
Yeah.
connects to this bigger conversation about risk.
Risk perception.
Exactly, especially in the financial world.
Right, like if insurance companies are getting it wrong,
Ah,
what other blind spots might there be?
so many assumptions we make.
And it ties into something we talked about earlier,
Oh, yeah.
the budget changes.
Right. And how landlords are feeling.
That anxiety,
Everyone's trying to figure out the risk
the reward.
in this crazy landscape.
Exactly. And one of the big concerns for landlords
Yeah.
is that potential increase in capital gains tax.
CGT.
The tax you pay when you sell an asset,
Like a rental property?
a higher CGT rate could really hit their bottom line.
Make property investment less attractive.
So if you're a landlord listening,
What are your options?
how do you navigate these changes?
Well, there are a few strategies to consider.
Okay.
One is to hold on to those properties longer.
Okay.
Hope the market keeps going up.
Offset that CGT burden.
Exactly.
Another approach could be to focus on improving existing properties,
Boost their value.
attract higher rents.
Makes sense, especially with those energy efficiency rules coming in.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Those upgrades could attract tenants who want eco-friendly options
Absolutely.
and increase the property's value overall.
So it's about adapting,
Right.
seeing those challenges as opportunities.
To improve and innovate,
Some landlords might even diversify their portfolios.
explore different types of properties.
New markets, even.
It's not all doom and gloom,
No, definitely ways to adapt and thrive.
but you need a plan
A good understanding of those tax changes.
and maybe a willingness to try something new.
Step outside those traditional investment strategies.
And that's where a good accountant can be so helpful.
Oh, absolutely.
They can analyze your options,
Break down the tax implications
help you develop a personalized strategy,
based on your goals and your risk tolerance,
like having a financial co-pilot.
guiding you through those turbulent skies.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about those other tax changes.
Uh?
Inheritance tax, IHT,
Mm-hmm.
and stamp duty land tax, SDLT.
Those could have big implications
Not just for landlords.
for anyone buying, selling, inheriting property.
Right, so for those who aren't familiar,
Yeah.
IHT is what you pay on your estate when you pass away.
And SDLT is when you buy a property.
Those proposed increases.
Yeah.
They could really ripple through the housing market.
How so?
Well, a higher IHT rate might discourage people from holding onto properties,
As part of their estate.
leading to more properties being sold.
And with a higher SDLT on top of that,
Buying a property gets even more expensive,
impacting affordability.
maybe even slowing down the market.
It's a balancing act.
It is.
The government wants to generate revenue,
Address inequalities
but those changes could have unintended consequences.
affecting the housing market.
Affordability for buyers and renters.
It's a complex issue.
No easy answers.
A lot of discussion and debate.
Different viewpoints
Some say these tax increases are necessary.
to address social imbalances.
Fund public services,
Others are worried about the impact on investment,
economic growth.
individual well-being.
It's important to remember, these are just proposals,
The budget hasn't been announced yet.
so there's still a lot of uncertainty.
Exactly. So stay informed.
Stay engaged.
Follow the budget discussions.
Reach out to financial professionals if you need guidance.
Now, amidst all this talk about taxes and market shifts,
Let's not forget that bright spot,
oh yeah, the trainee market,
booming in the accountancy profession,
a sign of growth.
even with the economic uncertainty.
It speaks to the resilience of the profession,
Accountancy is essential.
no matter what the economy is doing.
Businesses and individuals always need guidance.
Managing finances, taxes, planning for the future.
It's like that saying,
What's that?
death and taxes.
Oh, yeah.
With all these potential tax changes.
The demand for accountants will stay strong.
Absolutely. And this influx of new talent,
It's good for the profession.
and for the economy as a whole.
It's a sign of investment,
In the workforce of the future.
a fresh wave of energy,
New ideas, new perspectives.
a tech-savvy approach.
Essential for this digital world of finance.
And this new generation,
Yeah.
they're coming in at a time when the profession is transforming.
It's not just about numbers anymore.
It's about strategic advice,
Data interpretation.
helping clients make decisions in this fast-changing landscape. This evolution is driven by a few things.
Like what?
Technology, for one.
AI, automation, cloud-based software.
A lot of those traditional tasks
Yeah.
are becoming automated.
Freeing up accountants for higher-level work.
This stuff that requires human judgment.
Strategic thinking, interpersonal skills.
So it's not just about spreadsheets.
You need those soft skills.
Communication, critical thinking, problem solving.
Those are the skills that will help you thrive.
In this evolving profession,
It's exciting.
it is a chance to be at the forefront.
As innovation.
Leverage technology for better advice.
Build relationships with clients who need guidance.
It's like being a financial detective,
Piecing together the puzzle.
analyzing the data.
Helping your clients make sense of it all.
And you need that curiosity,
Critical thinking.
a willingness to keep learning.
The world of finance never stands still.
The best accountants will be the ones who adapt.
Learn new skills. Stay passionate about helping their clients.
And this brings us back to that trainee market. It's a sign that the profession is attracting talent.
People who are ready for the challenge.
To learn, to grow, to shape the future.
It's an exciting time to be entering the field.
So many opportunities to specialize.
Use technology to your advantage.
Build a meaningful career.
And for those who are already in the profession,
Yeah.
it's a time for mentorship.
Sharing knowledge, shaping the future of accountancy. So let's zoom out a bit.
Look at the bigger picture.
How will all these trends and changes
Affect the UK accountancy and tax landscape.
It's like we're at a crossroads.
Multiple paths ahead
The choices we make now
will determine the direction of the profession.
and its role in the UK's economic future.
And as we've seen,
It's not just about numbers.
it's about people.
Their perceptions, anxieties, aspirations.
Understanding that human element.
Recognizing that behind every spreadsheet and tax code,
Are real people whose lives are affected.
and it's about using our knowledge
Our skills, our compassion,
to create a more equitable future
sustainable and prosperous.
for everyone.
Now, before we move on,
Yeah.
what are your takeaways from all of this?
What stands out to you?
Are you surprised by those insurance premiums? Or maybe you're a landlord and you're feeling that pre-budget tension.
Yeah, or maybe this whole conversation has got you thinking about a career in accountancy.
It's really interesting to think about, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the big takeaways for me
Yeah,
is that perception really matters.
it does.
Whether it's about risk,
Or the value of different professions.
those perceptions has a real impact.
They do. They shape decisions and actions.
And the second thing I'd say is,
Stay informed.
yeah, the financial landscape is constantly changing.
New policies, market trends, technologies
You got to keep up
to make good decisions.
for yourself, for your business.
And don't forget about expert guidance.
Oh, that's so important.
Whether you're a landlord, an investor,
Just trying to manage your own money.
a good accountant can be invaluable.
They can help you see the big picture
Anticipate challenges, find opportunities.
and reach your financial goals.
That's what it's all about.
So if you're leaving this deep dive with more questions than answers,
That's a good thing.
it means you're thinking critically.
You're engaged.
And that's what we want to inspire.
Curiosity, a thirst for knowledge.
A willingness to dive deep into the world of finance.
We've only just scratched the surface today
But hopefully it's given you a taste.
of the dynamics at play.
In the UK's accountancy and tax landscape.
It's a fascinating world out there.
And remember,
Knowledge is power.
the more you understand these forces.
The better you'll be able to navigate your own financial journey.
Until next time,
Keep exploring
keep learning.
and keep diving deep.